How's it going, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're tackling a massive job. I've got to make a new concrete base for the lathe. First job is undoing the bird's nest of cable. I should probably wire this in properly. Probably no excuse now, I've actually de-wired it, is there? Right, so that will be done then. To show you how dusty it is in this room. I've been putting this job off for probably 6 months. But now there's absolutely no excuse for not doing it. And it's holding me back, having the lathe moving around all over the place of its own accord. So, first job, get the lathe out of there. Now, if you like your health and safety, probably look away now. That thing weighs an absolute ton. The good old Victorian sack wheels were up to the job, though. If you're wondering why I got the sack wheels under the light end of the lathe, it's because they won't fit under the heavy end of the lathe. Not ideal, but there's no other way of getting out, so that's what had to be done. Okay, so we've got lathe cam coming up now. If you're interested, that is a JCB farm special. Probably the most used piece of equipment on the farm. Certainly my favourite tractor. I'm going to be going up the wood tomorrow, and I'll be taking that with me and showing you what I do with it. That'll be a bit of fun. So we're going to deposit the lathe down the workshop. Now if you have a look out in the distance behind that grain barn, you will see a walnut tree through the gap, and if you've ever seen me turn a piece of walnut, that is the tree that the walnut comes from. We were improving the view a couple of years ago. A lot of these barns are getting sold, and we wanted a nice view, so we had to lose a couple of limbs off it, and I've probably made at least 20 bowls out of that walnut, and probably another 20 left to make. That barn, when it was made, was a hayloft. That's why the doors are so big. There used to be huge piles of loose hay in here. And now it's the fabrication workshop. Alright folks, as you can see, the lathe is gone, and I've got this piece of wood on the floor, which is going to become the new base underneath the new concrete that's going to get laid. And in the manual we've got this diagram which shows the exact mounting hole positions. So I'm going to transfer that to the wood, put the bolts in, dig the floor out, and then concrete over the top of the wood, and we should be able to drop the lathe straight on. Easy as that, he says. Should be what, 10-minute job? No, more like 2 days. So here I'm just using my spiky stick, putting the drill positions in. 4mm pilot hole and then 11.5mm finishing hole. Alright, now we're on to the laborious task. This is what took me the majority of the time. I reckon it probably took me 6 hours in total to dig that concrete out. And it was only 2 inches, 3 inches thick in places. It was my granddad that put it down probably 50 years ago. And he didn't mess about, that was some strong concrete. So I drilled around where I was going to cut out. And then there was nothing to it but to do it and just chip away and chip away and chip away. I'm glad I don't do this job every day. I don't think there's a part of my body that doesn't ache at the moment. I was very grateful for having that mask on. The amount of dust coming off was not funny. So, 6 hours later, and we've reached the outside of the hole. Fair bit of material came out. I wanted to go 6 inches deep with this concrete. My girlfriend said to me, "Is that where you're going to hide the bodies?" And, well, you never know. So I decided against the wooden base, and I welded a bit of rebar onto those bolts. Transferred the frame into rebar. And then I put some spacing brackets on the top so that I know the top and the bottom are parallel. And just leveling up the rebar. Now I went to all the effort of getting the cement mixer out, and it wouldn't start. It's got loads of problems. Couldn't fix it, so we had to go back to old school mixing concrete in the wheelbarrow. So that was fun. First load was a bit dry, I thought. There's Sandy the dog and my dad. Second load was a bit sloppy. Third load was really sloppy. Okay, maybe it was all a bit sloppy. Hopefully it will come out alright. Alright folks, for better or worse, there it is. Looks a bit wet to me, but then I don't know anything about concreting really, so we shall see. I don't dare take the frame off because it's holding the bolts in the right position. And I can't tamp it properly with the frame on, so we're just going to ignore that completely and hope that somehow it all turns out for the best tomorrow. Right.